This video is how to avoid getting shot by a foreign police officer, be it Russian or be it American. And certainly, if you want to avoid trouble with the police, don't drive your car at them. Now, that's a bit hypocritical because I once drove my bike. I actually went through the stinging nettles to avoid actually touching the female officers and then got off on my bike. But anyway, that's another story. But, you know, if I can avoid trouble with Russian police, I'm sure you can too. Now, I was actually chilling. I was waiting to meet someone. It was peeing with snow, but it was that kind of like really wet snow. It was about 30 degrees out and it was starting to be a bit sleety. So I'd already been in the bookshop in the morning and basically I was just chilling on my phone with my bag. Now, I looked up. There's a fucking armed police officer. Now, of course, rule number one, when you've got an armed police officer in front of you, is let them see your hands, yeah? That your hands aren't going to go for a weapon of any kind. But it gets better. What they didn't seem to like was, I mean, as people know, I do love my flags. Like, I'm Israel High and Jai Hind. You know, I've got England flag in my room, but, you know, and I've got a proper Iranian flag on order, but this is my camera stand. And it was in my bag. Now, given the fact I was in Russia and I had an India flag and Israeli flag, I never buy travel insurance because what's going to happen? But this was my insurance policy because Russian cop wanted to see my bag. Oh, no. Flag of Russia. he just smiled, didn't search the rest of the bag. No problem. And then later on, the friend I didn't realise was starting to mentioning the three-letter word beginning with W, and I was like going, Scheissenhausen. And into Red Square, they had the sort of the airport-style security. They had the walk-through metal detectors. They didn't have the scanners. But of course, you know, I had my little bag with me and, you know, I felt a bit uncomfortable because I just had a topic brought up which you shouldn't really bring up in a country that is in the middle of a conflict. So I just looked up at the Russian cop and I went, I love Trump. Do you know what I mean? And he laughed. So if I can avoid getting shot in a foreign country, this muncher who was basically behind an SUV, reversing and forwarding. And of course, if you watch a proper news channel like Fox, you realise that there is a hell of a lot more to this story. They actually employ these people. And by the way, the people who think I'm a professional demonstrator, come on. Don't be so stupid. But these are basically people who are volunteer / hired to actually be professional victims to harass ICE officers. And this is how toxic the left are. And what the left do is they play the victim. I've got a situation where I've got a leftist playing the victim with me at the moment. Oh boy. Do you know what I mean? It's like this week is going to be wind-up time. Do you know what I mean? I can wind people up without even bloody trying. Ice, baby. So yeah, stuff like that. So I've also got a few other things to be concerned about in YouTube world. I'm concerned about this Steve Laws nonsense. I mean, if Tommy Robinson thinks this guy's extreme, he must be extreme. If Tommy Robinson thinks he's stupid, he must be stupid. But that's a subject for another video.